Is it on go or is it on 3 or is it on 1?
Problematic.
I'm Marquise.
Problematic. Problematic. Look out podcast. Here, Sito in the building. Problematic.
It's your boy Juju.
Problematic. Look out podcast. Problematic.
Yo, what did my man just say then?
Problematic.
Yo, you're listening to Mr. Rock.
Problematic. Cookout podcast.
Ho, 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 young chefs. We are here. Welcome to the finale of the first season of The Problematic Cookout. Y'all already know your boy Juju checking in today.
Marquise is out here.
Yo, Sito back with the Christmas swag.
And Mr. Rock's right in here.
And we are excited to be here with y'all today. I'd like to start with giving a real big shout out to all three of my co-hosts today because, man, I'm proud of y'all boys. You know, stepping outside y'all comfort zone, staying consistent, making the time commitment and all that, investing in yourselves and in this all season long. For me, I've been really able to watch y'all grow in different ways. I think that all three of you guys really have grown in different ways, and I've seen that in front of my eyes, and it's allowed me to realize how blessed I am to be surrounded with the people I'm surrounded with, especially in this tough year and all that. So I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I'm proud of you guys. Keep that going. We're gonna keep pushing each other. We're gonna keep reaching for the stars, but just want to give y'all a shout out. So
we appreciate you, man. And we
Yes,
love
sir.
you too, bro.
Can't do it without you, bro.
Sir. Yes, sir. This family. But this being said, it is holiday season, and this year has been a load. So for individual, as a community, and all of it, it's just been really tough. So today's episode, we will be a little different. We'll talk a little bit more about our feelings about this holiday season. But first, we just want to take a recap and take a trip down memory lane and recap the year a little bit. So let's get right into it. And I think that it's been a tough year, like I said. Let's get the bad stuff out the way. and there's a lot of it that's been challenging, but talk a little bit about the challenges that we overcame, and that you maybe the big challenges that you overcame this year.
Word. I'd say this year I had two main big challenges that came across my path, and I believe that one we all shared. So the first challenge that I had was actually taking a leap of faith and moving across the country and heading out west, starting over basically from scratch. And that honestly took a lot out of me. It was daunting. It was crazy. I didn't know what was going to be on the other end. But I had a job lined up, and at this point in my life, it's you gotta take whatever opportunities come at you. The only flip side is that I had to leave all my friends behind, right? Coming to a place I barely know anybody, and for me, people who know me, I usually have grown up, by myself. I haven't really had my family around or anything. So being back in Toronto with my friends, they were basically my family, right? And moving away from that, it was so tough because it's these are the people I see every day, I hang out with every day, pretty much do everything together. And now I'm going to have to move out and just be on my own. And like you said, starting this podcast was moving out of my comfort zone. Moving out west was really, really moving out of my comfort zone because, dude, this is so new. Everything is all new. But you know what? Regardless of all that, we're still here. We made it through. I've come so far. I guess it's 6, 7, 8 months since we last saw each other. And, things are going all right. I'm just, developing myself every day, figuring out how to navigate this new place, this new area. And although it was a negative, I guess it kind of turned into many positives as we went along. The other challenge that I faced, obviously, that we all shared together is the loss of our good friend, Jobu. That was I think that was a huge blow in my life, honestly, and dealing with it was very hard. And even to this day, man, I miss my bro. It's crazy, man. I be opening my phone sometimes, and then I see the memories pop up on the photos and stuff like that.
Yep.
And I'm just damn. or even like something as simple as I'll be listening to music and be on shuffle, and like one of the songs that we all used to listen together would come on, and I'm just like, really, is this real? You know, like is this real? Like some of that stuff just makes me tear up sometimes, and I'm just like, life is just crazy like that. But regardless of all that, like we have these challenges. The challenge to us is to overcome them, you know, and you know, kind of just find the energy or the power or the willpower to keep on going and face whatever comes next.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah. Challenges this year. You know, last year was a really big year. You know, moving to my new country. You know, getting to mix and match with my family and friends, build some new friendships, like I have with my boys right here.
Yeah, boy.
Yes, sir.
But the other side to that is, you know, since the COVID and everything, just the restrictions. You know, being able to go back to the UK. You know, I mean, that's for me, one of the biggest things is the fact that, you know, I don't have that same connection to be able to just jump on a plane and go see my family. You know, family that I would see, you know, every other month or once a month, or, you know, seeing my mom and my daughter, my dad and my brothers, you know, multiple times a month and so on. And, you know, to be in a position now where I'm restricted from, you know, going there and them coming here, it's really a deep time. But through all that, you know, I think there's many positives which we'll talk about later on. And even just being locked down and just being in the house and, you know, restricted from where you can go and what you can do. It's really been a big challenge, and, you know, building some of the relationships like we have helped me through it big time. You guys probably don't know how much it means to me for you to have invited me and allowed me to be a part of the crew. You know, I kind of felt at the beginning like I was kind of the outsider. You know, there was already a unit that was put together and we're growing, and then, you know, one of the guys passed away, which is, you know, extremely, you know, heartfelt, and, you know, I saw the impact in you guys and how it, you know, impacted you. Not saying I could fill his shoes or anything like that, but, you know, just want to make you guys know that I'm always here for you. And as I always say, off air, most of you guys probably don't know that who are listening right now. I always tell these guys I love them. You know? I love these guys, man.
And he makes me say it back.
You know, these guys are coming along week by week, getting more comfortable with it. You know, just not having that level of interaction, you know, with people a lot of the time has taken me down, you know, some dark paths. Sometimes people probably wouldn't notice that in me because they usually see me as the guy that's upbeat and, you know, on top of the world and stuff like that. And from a distance, you know, my family and friends in the UK, they probably see that the same. You know, they still make connections with me and, you know, hit me up and that. But with the time difference, it's really a big thing. It's not even like by the time I finish work for the day and I think about, let me just chill for a minute and then I'll call people back home, and it's like, people are already gone to bed. You know, but, you know, I've been blessed. I've got to say I've been blessed. You know, this situation has happened and it's, you know, opened up so many doors, opportunities for friends, building relationships. And, you know, it's given me a lot of me time, a lot of me focused time to figure out where I'm going. Which we, you know, I don't want to get into that too early, but that's the main challenge for me. Like everything else, like the stores closing and stuff like that. I miss when Foot Locker was closed and so on, you know, but those things, you know, they'll be back, you know, but just some of the memories that I haven't been able to build in those areas, but I've built them in other areas. So, you know, I've got to give God thanks for, you know, seeing me through this time really, and just keeping me sane, you know. That's all I was gonna say on it. Like I probably could get deeper, but I probably get all emotional and start crying and stuff. So I'll pass on to Sid.
I was starting to tear up.
Damn, man, why you gotta put me in the spot like that for? What's going on? For real, you know, we originally tried to create this podcast in the early weeks of lockdown, and you know, lockdown was a bit rough for me because I'm pretty social, and my life for the past like 3 years have just been 3 to 4 years have just been traveling from city to city, through work and a little bit through leisure, and just trying to make some great memories with some good friends. Because I'm an only child. I'm basically a loner, but so I'm kind of dependent more on like other people than I realize. And lockdown was an eye opener, and I was like, okay, this lockdown's gonna happen. We're gonna all be back on our feet back in June or July or something like that. And Jobu was one of the dudes that we would travel occasionally together from, and it's kind of cool, you meet up with one of the bros from in a completely other city. Get to have a good time, no worries. And then so losing Jobu was pretty rough. I have his picture right above this screen behind me that I'm looking at. So that was a big shocker, but it forced me to put things into better perspective. I was able to slow down, really reevaluate the relationships I have with some of my good friends, especially you guys here on the podcast. And when we decided to reboot it, I was pretty ecstatic about that. Because I do like working. I'm a pretty busy worker, and with the flying and stuff, I was kind of like working myself into the ground. So this kind of like rest area in time is really like let me sit back and reevaluate some stuff. So that was pretty much the roughest part about the year for me. Jobu, love you. Hope to see you again. Like I said in earlier podcasts, but yeah, that was probably definitely the hardest thing to deal with. What do you got, Mr. Juju?
Yeah, no, I think those things are real, and I think I can relate to them all. Obviously the passing of Job. We also, lost my grandma this year, so the losses have been extremely hard for me to handle, and just like coping with it all. Really understanding, how to deal with my mental health. I'm also a pretty, social person, so. The lockdown was tough, but I think that if I look at like as a community, one thing that has been really hard on me is like I'm a big lover of people. I think I have love for people. No matter their shape, size, color, belief, or anything like that. And I just seeing this year, whether it's COVID, racial justice, all of that, seeing our world get so divided, for me, it really took a toll on me. There's really been some times where I just couldn't understand, like, why can't we just come together? Like, why can't we just, do this thing together, and gotten really emotional at times. So, I think it's been difficult. People are fighting for what they believe in, and people are, have this urge to want to be right. And I understand that, and people have strong beliefs and strong feelings and strong whatever. But at the same time, I think that there has to be some kind of way where we can all work together and all have love for each other and all have compassion for each other in this world. So that's been hard. I'm not gonna lie, that's been very, very tough. Like seeing all of this, seeing cities like Minneapolis, city very near to my heart, are basically being burned down to the ground. Seeing people lose their life, and very little regards for that, and people, barely caring about it. It's been very difficult for me to look at. And then there's obviously, a lot of the celebrities that died, and a lot of impacts that happened this year has just been a whirlwind, where it was just, started with our beloved Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gigi, right? And then all the way to, Chadwick Boseman a couple weeks ago. So it's just been, no one will disagree. No one doesn't know that. It's just been such a weird year. And it's hard to say that, like, I made the joke this weekend to one of my friends, hey man, can't wait to January 1st, 2021. Everything gonna go back to normal. But, but yeah, it's just been, such a huge year that's been tough on so many people on so many different levels, and I just want to make sure that my responsibility is just to have compassion for everyone and just be to everyone. It's been tough for me as well, but I'm here for you. If you're dealing through it with something, if you need some kind of support, someone to talk to, I want to be that person. I want to be there. But we're not going to make this episode just a sobbing session. So to kind of flip that,
let's brighten it up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let's try to brighten it up a little bit. I think it's important not to ignore the issues, right? To ignore our feelings and the fact that it has been a tough year. But to flip it, I think that especially for us, not everyone has been as lucky as us, but this season has opened up, and this year has opened up opportunities for some positives, for some opportunities that we didn't know before and things like that. So I wanted to talk a little bit about those things, because I know we touched a little bit about them in the first part, but talk to me a little bit about some of the opportunity that came, some of the key lessons, let's speak positive a little bit. Sido, you want to kick us off?
Yeah. So like I said earlier, I am a workaholic, right? And in previous years, I kind of put myself in a liability to where I overworked and kind of wasn't paid for it. 2020 was the year that got me that extra paycheck from all that extra work I was doing. Mm-hmm. So that was very surprising. I didn't get everything I was supposed to get, but nice little compromise. You got to take what you get when you took your leverage away, right? So, and that money has enabled me to make some better financial decisions. Not that I was in any crazy debt or anything like that, but you could still be in a great financial position and still not be able to make any movements for years, right? But this leapfrogged me a little bit. So that was pretty good. Helped on a lot of my savings goals that I kind of smashed out of the park, since I was fortunate to be able to still work because I'm an essential worker, right?
Yes, sir.
The second thing, like many of us who have been working from home through this long period of time, I learned how to cook. I can throw down. It may not have been in my own house, but it's for me, it's satisfying to be able to help my friends. And so before, me being as good as I am in tech and helping my friends fix their devices was pretty fleeting. But then cooking something and having your friends really enjoying your food and you're really nourishing them, that's another pleasure that I didn't think I would expect. It's pretty awesome to be able to feed your friends and family. And,
he's a eligible bachelor.
And
he can fix your iPhone.
I'm the jack of all trades.
He enjoys long walks on the beach, and a glass of white wine or Jack Daniels.
Bro, so when we have this podcast up in Toronto and I'm back in town, bro, we cook up a meal for all of us. And then,
yes,
I look forward to that, man.
Yeah, make sure we all have a cookout.
Yo, for real.
Definitely get that mac and cheese.
I was like, I'm gonna show you what that means, Marquise. I'm gonna show you what the words mean.
Please do.
I'm gonna toss it over to Mr. Rock. Let's see what wins you got here.
This year, even though we started this and we talked about the downsides of it, but I swear this year's just been, for me, an eye opener for many, many, many different things. That I've learned about myself and about other people. And, I know that I'm still growing. I'm still developing. I'm getting older by the day, but I'm getting wiser as well. But at the same time, I'm still a kid at heart. I'm still a kid at heart. Anybody that knows me very closely, I'll buy Lego, for example. I bought Lego kits this year and just spent the time to build them 6,000 piece Legos and stuff like that, living that kid life. Yeah. To getting back into my photography, starting to learn about videography as well. I'm starting to build connections with people and starting to, build skills and side hustles that will come up in the future. We got an extra time because we're not traveling to work and stuff, like it gives me those extra hours, to really focus on me. I get up early in the morning and there's some me time for me to read something or, get on YouTube and, learn something about videography. That's all I watch. I don't really have time to be watching shows about nothing.
Yeah.
I'm constantly building, man. And just finding different ways to, to communicate with friends and family in the UK. A lot of times it was in the UK you'd verbally be talking to someone or having a video chat, but now we found different ways like leaving voice messages. You can hit like 20 people in an hour. and get some real, some impactful words across to them. Whereas, if you were having conversations, you probably get like 2 or 3 because you haven't spoken to someone in so long. So, like I said, I've been doing many different things. I don't want to, reel all of them off. But, for those who know me.
Shoot, we got time? Come on.
Oh, okay. Let's reel them off.
It's the holiday special.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
listeners,
I've also got into making clothes as well. I spoke about that before, but I'm using a sewing machine. Some people might look at that like,
oh, for real?
What's this 42-year-old guy? Oh, giving away my age there. But anyway, he's using a sewing machine. Like, I got a sewing machine, and I plastered like Jordan stickers and all that to make it look fresh. But, I'm recreating clothes. I'm, helping my girlfriend, reduce some of her waste. Instead of like wasting it, I'm, create into something else. And, I'm building skills that I never knew about. So, it gives me the chance that, when I have younger children later on down the line, daddy's going to be making their clothes. I even got my daughter asking for stuff already. So doing this podcast as well has been a really big thing. The back side of this, editing, managing the audio, communicating with you guys, making sure that, the kit is in the right shape and right distance, and there's a whole load of stuff, man. I think I might write a book in 2021. I gotta say, even though COVID and the things that we talked about earlier on that impacted us negatively, I gotta say this year has still been a good big year for me, for self-development.
For me, I'd say the main good thing that's happened to me this year is the growth of the relationship with my friends. So by that I mean, for example, now we're doing this podcast together. We're going together, learning more about each other. But the fact that I'm so far away from everybody else, we actually have to make an effort to talk to each other. You know what I mean? Like, we can't just pull up to the crib and just chill whenever we want. And one key tool that's actually helped me with that is like FaceTime on the iPhone or WhatsApp video. Right now, I actually don't even like talking on the phone. Like, just FaceTime me. Don't call me, because like
I've been saying that.
I want to see. Yeah, and now is when I realize how important it is, man. Like, we can talk on the phone, but we don't know when you're gonna see each other next. Let's FaceTime. Let's shoot shoot the shit if we want, right? But I've been using that a lot lately, and even with my family, like I kind of like that my parents are they're kind of hopping on that train now, like of using FaceTime and video calling and stuff like that, because they're low key old school and like they don't really know how to work these devices. But now that they've caught on, and now we can FaceTime each other anytime we want. I feel like it's helped my relationships a lot better, because now we can actually connect, and it's like I was with you right there, but just on the phone.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing I definitely took for granted, but now it made me realize how important that kind of thing is. And
I feel like when you move away, that's when you really realize like who your real friend, because like
for real,
all the friends that are there by convenience, right? Like those are kind of you're gonna drift apart from them a little bit. But, like the people that are really gonna have to be intentional to actually stay in touch with you, like That's the, those the real friends, and you can only really see that when you kind of remove yourself and you're like, oh, are you still going to make the effort when you actually have to make an effort to kick it with me? But yeah.
Yes, sir. And actually, I'm gonna give a shout out to my Oakville boys. Shout out 3-on-3. Those guys
holding it down.
Holding it down. Yeah. They make sure I don't miss any turn-ups. If they're linking up for a birthday or something, they make sure to FaceTime me in. So like I still feel like I'm part of the squad. So shout out to those guys.
Yeah, you're slowly being replaced though, just so you know. There's a new boy in town.
We're gonna have to have a talk about that later.
Juju, you trying to fill that spot, huh?
Yeah, dog. It's already filled. What you mean?
You're gonna see Juju in the background in the next FaceTime video. Like, oh,
like what's he doing there? But yeah, so a key lesson I took away is maintaining relationships. You got to maintain relationships with the people you know. You never know when that relationship might save you or might come in handy. And other than that, the only other big thing that's come across for me is my job. Like my job brought me all the way over here, and it's been going great so far, and I'm really, really enjoyed it. I'm glad I took the leap of faith, and I'm just excited to see what 2021 has to bring for me.
Well done, bro. Well done.
Yeah.
it's lit.
Yeah, that's real. I'm actually really thankful for this pandemic, honestly, because like I said, like it's really allowed me to take a step back, and it forced me to realize, what are the things that are really important, because there's so many activities that we get into as part of it, and we just assume that it's normal, and then we realize those aren't even important to me, right? Like there's so many things that shut down that now I'm not doing anymore, that I'm like, I didn't even care about them that much. Like I don't even miss them. I can't even name them, right? But like there's some things that like I'm realizing like I miss a lot, like the gyms, like working out. Those are the things that I miss, like being with my friends, like working on the podcast, connecting with the people I really care about. Those are the things that really, during this pandemic, I've really said like, oh, those are the things I need to take care of. Those are the things I need to invest my time in. And it really allowed me to have a clear focus on, well, now everything is gone. What do I actually really miss? So here's where I'm going to focus my time when it gets back. So, that's been a big lesson. And I think that picking up so many kind of like side hustles and like hobbies and starting this podcast is something I've wanted to do for forever, and like getting to start it with this group of people is something I'm extremely thankful for. All the workouts that I've been doing, like having the people work out with me, and building a family there. I think that it's been, although it's been difficult, but the unity that I've seen, although like like the same unity and divisiveness that has broken my heart, the unity that I've seen in some people that have decided like, like this is a tough time, we're just gonna come together and be there for each other. Those are the ones I'm very thankful for. So those are a little bit of the positive that I take away from this year, and that I'm hoping, those are the ones that I want to, that's what I want to build on moving forward. But obviously y'all see me, for people that are on video, y'all see me with my Santa hat on, but if you're not, flip over to the video, man. We got to get those YouTube views up, man. But I also want to like talk a little bit about the holidays, the holiday season, what you guys are up to in this, changed holiday season, and how do you guys feel about the holiday season in general? Like maybe any memories, things like that. But Rock.
Okay, yeah. Holiday seasons, I'm not really a big fan. I think since I've matured and I got to a certain age, they didn't really mean the same thing to me. So. You guys are, celebrating the seasons that are coming up, because it's related to things in the past and, how you get together with family and things like that. That's probably the biggest thing I feel like I've lost over the years and during the holiday seasons, because when I was younger, it used to be a lot of the family that I used to get together with. And these are the family members that I grew up with from day one. So, you know, we was either going over to theirs for Christmas, or they were coming to mine, or we were going to my aunt's. And as we grow and get more mature, people are not really into Christmas as much, and it's not as much fun. And I think when my daughter was younger, there was a time that, you know, the holiday season meant a lot more to me. You know, seeing them get excited for Christmas or birthdays or, you know, certain times of the year, and me being able to put that extra smile on their face, you know, by surprising them with something. And, you know, as my daughter's grown, you know, she's a young adult now. You know, it still puts a smile on my heart when I'm able to surprise her with something, or, you know, give her something that she's wanted or she's worked for, and support her with it. But other than that, for me personally, I'm not really the biggest holiday season kind of guy. And people are trying to nudge me and say, "Oh, stop being the Grinch," and da-da-da-da-da. But for some reason, it just doesn't have the same feeling, man. I don't know what it is. I don't know. You know, when it comes to the children, though, I like to see, you know, the kids have smiles on their faces. And I know, you know, gifts and toys, you know, can be seen as materialistic kind of stuff, but, you know, the child in me still likes to see kids have that same feeling. So, you know, last year and a couple of years back, I've been, you know, trying to give more and more during these seasons to the kids, you know, the kids that don't even have nothing, or the kids that just, you know, waking up to some really, really basic stuff on Christmas Day or any other seasonal holidays. So I've just made it my focus now, you know, going forward, is I'm not going to be spending money on unneeded gifts and you know, things that are not necessities for other people, just to have a stocking filler, just to have to say that, oh, I bought you something for Christmas. I'm the Grinch when it comes to adults. For sure. That's how it's going to be. That's how it's going to be going forward. If it's the children, you know, I'm just going to try and give what I would give to other people, and give it to the kids that don't have nothing, you know. So I think for me, that's the thing that's going to energize me and get me excited, because last year, you know, I brought like 2 bags of toys from one of the stores, because we had a toy giveaway for the needy. And, you know, just the thought of going to the store and then being in the store and picking up this and that, I'm thinking, you know, in my mind, I could visually see these kids picking up these things on Christmas Day, and, you know, just having that impact on their lives. And I thought, you know, from now on, that's all it's about. I'm not saying, you know, Christmas is all about gifts and presents and stuff like that, because it's supposed to be focusing on, you know, Jesus Christ. But the other side of it, like, adults don't really need it like that. It's all about the kids having a particular time of the year where they can all get together and say, we enjoyed the time that we had with our friends, with our family, with our gifts, and, you know, just have that period until come around again the following season.
For me, I'd say this holiday season, like, I don't even know how it's going to go, to be honest. Like, with all these travel restrictions and, you know, the COVID situation, I'm not quite sure yet what's happening, even though it's like, what, like, you know, 3 weeks away from December. And for me, I guess it would mostly be just spending time with family. That's if I can get to do that, you know, that'd be pretty much it for me. Because growing up, that's pretty much all we had. Like, when we were back in Kenya, like, Christmas, that's what I'm going to refer to as a holiday. It was pretty much the only time that everybody's together. We have a good meal and you know, look forward to the next year. But once I moved to Canada, like, everything kind of changed. Like, the holidays was more about, you know, people, I got to get a job. Someone's got to be working like double shift, get that time and a half pay. So we never really had like a good Christmas where we're all like together, you know. And because we're all just worried about trying to make money, trying to do this, trying to do that, I never really got to enjoy it. And by the time everyone in my family kind of just split it off and started moving away from Toronto, Christmas became okay, it became the original Christmas where we this is the only time that we get to meet up and share a meal together. Let's make it count, you know. And to this day, that's what it is now. And I hope I can get to do that. Like I've gone Christmases where I was just by myself, or it was just me and my sister or something like that.
Yeah.
So like I've become kind of numb to it, and it's like, you know what, it's just another day. Who cares, right? But if I can get to spend it with my family, then that's a successful like holiday season for me, man. Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. For me, I'm in a similar boat. You know, the work. I work a lot. I try to do the grind as much as I can, but the holiday season is usually that one time where me and the majority of my friends probably have some time off to actually spend. So I hop in between like several of my friend circles, like, oh, this day I get to hang out with you. This day I get to hang out with other people. I get to extended periods of time of hanging out because, you know, a couple episodes ago, I said quality time is my thing. So, you know, the more time I could spend with certain circles of my friends, the better the holiday season to me. So 2020 is going to be a little weird. You know, I don't want to be a super spreader. So I'm going to just stick to one family and hang out there.
Man, spread the love.
You know? But yeah, usually that's what it is for me. I try to get a gift for some of my adult friends that, you know, just think of something that they weren't expecting. Like, you know, I can't get them a $300 computer part or something like that, but, you know, something that adds a little flair or
It's
some
a little more thoughtful,
fragrance, a little watch or something that they might not have realized they needed, and it helps them out. So I try to like fine tune gifts like that, or get some gifts from my travels. Everyone loves a souvenir from a long distance. Not to say I just throw souvenirs at people, but it's my little token of it's my little token of saying, hey, I was thinking about you while I was far.
For sure.
So yeah, those extended periods of times where we're not working, I get to hang out with my friends till like 4 a.m, and we're not even at a bar. We're just shooting the breeze at somebody's house.
Exactly.
Maybe a couple drinks.
So valuable, man.
You know, reminiscing about the good times and this and that. That's what I look forward to in the holiday season, and also the food. People be throwing down, especially American Thanksgiving coming up. I can't wait. But yeah.
For sure. No, I think for me, like the meaning of, you know, the holiday season changed quite a bit. Because, you know, I spent, I think, 5 years away from home. You know, playing football and everything. Like we often had like games, or like where usually during the holiday season we were playing and stuff like that. So, not being able to be with my family, I think that it had a different meaning, because before I didn't necessarily like Christmas because I thought that it had become too much. Like, you know, Rock, you mentioned earlier, like it's also about, you know, Jesus Christ. Like for me, at least Christmas, right? Like I know that people celebrate different things during this holiday season, but Christmas was about Jesus Christ. And I thought that like every time I was going to any function or any family event, like it had kind of taken away from that, and it had become all about like the gifts and the material stuff, and I wasn't a huge fan of that. So but being away gave me different perspective, and just appreciating time with family away. Because one thing I started doing, so after I graduated, I also spent the Christmas in Minneapolis, and that Christmas I decided to go to the children's hospital and, you know, get some gifts and bring that over to the children. And it just allowed me to realize, you know, like, yeah, I'm not spending Christmas with my family, but at the same time, I'm healthy, right? Like, so maybe I am lonely, but there's so much else that I'm blessed with. There's other people that, you know, are lonely, but at the same time, battling, you know, serious disease, and they don't know this might be their last Christmas, and that gave me a different perspective. That made me want to do that every year, once a year, you know, during the holiday season, at least once, do something positive for someone else that's a little that has a little less opportunities. But I think that this holiday season, it's going to be really about enjoying my family. It's not I don't care about any gifts I receive from anyone or anything like that. I just want to really be with my family. Like even for my family, it's been a tough year. We've been through a lot, and I remember last year my grandma was still around, and like having my grandma home for Christmas, having her smiling and everything like that. It was just such a blessing, seeing my little cousin is here. I have another cousin that's gonna be around this year. So it's those are the times that I cherish, and those are the times that I'll remember forever. But yeah, that's what I think about when I think about the holiday season. But thinking about times that we'll remember forever, I don't know if you guys had any traditions, any holiday traditions, or any things that you did growing up during the holiday season that you want to share, or something really memorable, whether it was one holiday or something that happened every year during the holiday season.
Oh, but actually, I got like two things I'd like to share. First is like when I used to, when we were back home, back in Kenya, like the holidays was like the one time of the year when you're like everybody like comes together, and you're gonna have good food during the period. Like all year round, you just be eating whatever you got. But like Christmas comes around, like my mom's like, "Yo, make the list of what we're gonna get. We're gonna be getting stuff we never usually get during the year. Like something as simple as like jam for your bread and stuff like that. Like biscuits, cookies, like the stuff you just never have, right? And then we'll have, that's when like my mom's in the kitchen, everybody's in the kitchen making the good food and all that. So that's kind of one of the big things I miss about being back home, because that's like the time where you really eat, like you're about to fatten up for the for the season. And obviously like when we once we moved to Canada, things kind of changed. But the second thing I'd like to share is since when I used to live back in Toronto, and I used to live by myself, one of my buddies actually used to invite me for the holidays to their house to kick it with their family. So I'm actually very grateful for that. Like we used to have good memories just kicking it, and it felt like I was with my own family, but just with someone else, So that was one of the good traditions I used to have. And I guess the third thing is, now that I guess we've been in the country a while, like everyone's kind of set up, and whenever we meet up for Christmas now, I actually get gifts. And I never used to get gifts ever. Like if I ever got a gift, I'd buy it for myself or something. But actually, so I buy it for myself. No, it's because like money was always an issue. But
for sure, yeah.
My mom started getting me dress shirts and stuff like that. I actually got one on right now. So
Hey.
she gave me this. She got me this last Christmas, and she's like, "Make sure you wear this when you go to work." I'm like, you know what? I will. And I know obviously now we can't wear it because we're not we work from home and stuff. But like, when we do go back, I'm gonna make sure I wear this shirt because my mom bought me this shirt, man. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, traditions and some good holiday memories. As I was saying earlier on, if I relate that to when I was growing up as a youth, being around my cousins, it always used to be a really good time. I'd see cousins that I hadn't seen all year, or for half the year, for example, and I've built some really strong relationships with these cousins. If they're listening now, you know who you are. Mm-hmm. And since those days, we have pictures of us, dressed up, or in our night clothes on Christmas mornings, and sitting down opening presents and all those kind of things. Yeah, these images that you're able to get this piece of paper with this picture on it. For the young people out there who don't really know about photos. But being able to flick through those and cherish those moments, man. And one of the traditions that I used to have with me and one of my male cousins, when they used to come over to ours before Christmas, we used to always have this hunt, right? So you knew that your parents had got you something, but no one knew what it was, right? So we'd scavenge the house trying to figure out where these gifts hidden, at my house or his house. And if we find something, you'd be like, "Yo, that's mine, right?" And they'd be like, "Nah, that's mine." And and it built up all the tension ready for Christmas. And then when you're able to open it on that Christmas morning, you kind of like, you were either very, very happy or you were a little bit sad. But
so either way, the gifts that you're gonna get, but you don't know who's getting it.
Yeah, exactly. you know. And you know, I remember one year. It was my first computer that I got was a Commodore 64. And my mom listened to the show, so she'll probably hear this now. So the cat's out the bag. But yeah, we found the Commodore 64 box. It was behind my mum's wardrobe, and we'd seen it, and it had like this music maker on it. And my cousin was really into music. It was like, oh, that must be mine. I was like, nah, that's for me. It was mine.
It was like if it was all the way back there.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was a mission. Yeah. But just little things like that. And I guess that related to, you know, when my daughter was younger and her sister as well. You know, seeing them getting excited, you know, those traditions of, you know, figuring out, oh, what would they like, or, you know, what might benefit them, you know, so you have a gift that is like a toy and you know, for them to enjoy, but and also something that was educational, but they'd enjoy using it too. And I guess that ability to, you know, be going out and looking for something specifically for something to enrich their lives, especially with young children.
For me, when I was a lot younger, I would go over to my cousin's house as well. I mean, I'm single child, only child. Dad's out of the picture for now, and then, you know, my mom would just need some help here and there, so she'd send me off to my cousin's house back when it would actually snow on Christmas Day. And you know, you and your family actually had to shovel whatever house snows in front of the house and let you do snowmans and stuff like that. Hop back inside, drink some hot chocolate, play some video games with my cousins like the same age. So that was pretty. Those are like my most cherished memories. I still look at the photo album I have here and there to see some of those pictures from back then. But most recently, tradition I have with my boys, I went to college with. We'll get together probably like 2-3 times a year, and Christmas is one of those times where we just exchange a few gifts and just throw a couple drinks back and just have a good time. We try to catch each other on each other's birthdays, and then if not, definitely Christmas. Still don't know if that's gonna happen now, but you know, my boys know they if they're listening, they know who I'm talking about, and you know, that's one of the more recently cherished traditions for me. And also another one of my friends now, they have this whole thing where we all have to like dress a little Christmassy. It's a little excessive for me, but at the same time, it's a good time to spend and, you know, shoot the breeze and talk crap again. So those are my traditions.
For sure. That's dope. I think one of them is just like, for me every year, like the you know, stepping into the new year, like New Year, I would say is probably one of my favorite holidays. And like, it's not that I'm like big into this like New Year, new me stuff, but it's just, you know, clicking the reset button and, you know, whatever has gone right, building on it, and whatever hasn't gone right, you know, leaving it behind. That's kind of my mentality when it comes to New Year, and really like making a tab of all that and being like, okay, well, here are the things that have gone really well, and I want to build on those, the friendships, the you know, the business, the financial, like everything, you know, just taking that and building on it, and whatever hasn't gone right, being like, okay, I'm really leaving those bad habits and the things that are detrimental to my life behind. But if we were to think about one like specific like tradition that we had growing up, it is around gifts. And I remember we obviously didn't have a lot of money growing up, so we didn't get gifts on Christmas Day, and my mom used to take us out and on Boxing Day, which is the day after Christmas, right? And then that's when we would go out, and she would then buy us an item on sale, and that would be our Christmas gift. But I remember like logging into MSN back in the days on Christmas Day sometimes, and for the few that would be logged on onto MSN, they'd always be like, "Oh, what'd you get for Christmas?" And I remember just being so ashamed that like, I'd have to lie and be like, "Oh, this is what I got," like hoping that that's what I'm actually gonna get the next day.
Like, yo, I got a PS5.
Yeah, exactly. Like hoping that I'm actually getting the PS5 on sales on Boxing Day, and if I don't, I look like an idiot. But you know, like those are the things that like I was ashamed of growing up. But I think that they really made me who I am today. And today I talk about those stories proud. And, those are what, like I always think about that and think like, my mom wanted us, we didn't have a lot, but she never wanted us to feel like we didn't have a lot. Right. She was like, I'm gonna find some kind of way, like I can't afford all these items full price, but I'm gonna find a way to make sure that they still have, that they can still go to the school and not, like that they have good values, but that they can go to school and tell their friends like, yeah, I'm also really happy because I got this and that, and not be ashamed and stuff like that. So those are the things that like today, I'm very and extremely thankful for, and those are the things that I remember, but with a big smile on my face. So, yeah, I know this has been such a different episode from like the upbeats and the intense conversations, and it's getting there. Like, chefs, if you listen to this, we're almost there, almost 2021. Keep pushing. We have a last little push, but as a group here, what are you guys looking forward in 2021, and that you can encourage the listeners with as we step into this holiday season? If you were to give quick, maybe like 1 minute, how you would encourage people and what you're looking forward to. Sida, we'll kick it off with you.
Yeah. Hopefully, vaccine. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to take that or whatever. But, I don't want to say I want things to go to normal, but the, things with lockdown orders, once those end, I think we'll be in a lot of a better place. People will be able to, interact with everyone in a more organic way now, instead of just hiding behind like the mask and the fact that 6 feet apart is the norm for everyone. It'd be safer to interact with everyone again, and go back to some of those things that made you happy before the pandemic. If you have been impacted in a very negative way, here's just your chance to hopefully bounce back from that, whether it be new job or a job in general. Find getting into a new apartment because you lost your old one or something like that, had to move in with your parents, or hopefully not worse than that. 2021 is the year for a lot of bounce backs to happen. 2 steps back might go 5 steps forward, and people are just going to be clamoring for different things. Just make sure you don't overwork yourself, but you get on the grind, get your feet strong, and 2021 should be a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like to start this with a phrase that one of my good friends who passed away a couple of years ago. He just used to say, "Do something." Do something. That's all we used to say to each other. And I've always carried that with me, in terms of like, yeah, we're coming into 2021, but just keep doing what you want to do. Like, I don't wait for the date to change. I'm constantly doing stuff. I'm constantly learning stuff. I'm constantly getting into things. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it now. A date change doesn't make that much of a difference to me. But I would say anything that you want to do, or you thought about doing, but you've kind of like, maybe I shouldn't do that, or I feel uncomfortable, or people are going to look at me a certain way if I do this or if I do that. Forget then. If you want to do something, you go out and do it. If you want to go out and step out into it tomorrow, you step out and do it tomorrow. If you fail, or if it doesn't work out, at least you had that opportunity and that chance to actually try it. People feel like, people are watching them. I personally don't care. I don't think people should care about who's watching them. If you want to go and try something, and just continue. I think if you haven't taken a step in a new direction during this COVID season, I think you need to, sit down and reevaluate what's going on in your life. Yep. I know there's a lot of negatives and, negative impacts that we've had, but I've always learned that the negatives in my life have always produce a positive. you know, because I've kept my eyes open, and a no was never a no, you know. A no was just an opportunity for you to go back and approach it in a different way, you know, put something else on the table and see if they pick up from that. So I just say, you know, keep your eyes open, and if they're not open at the moment, you know, widen them, and just see what opportunities are out there. You know, talk to people that you might think are out of your league or in a different zone to you. You know, just go out there, like we was talking a couple of weeks ago. You go jogging and you see someone that you fancy and whatnot. Go approach them. Don't wait till 2021 and be like, yeah, I'm gonna get her on a New Year's jog. You know, do it now, because between now and New Year, she might have hooked up with somebody.
Yeah,
well, that opportunity's gone.
Yeah.
You know, so
if you ask that question in our relationship episode, make sure you listen to that advice. All right?
Go back to that episode.
Go on
check
that
in.
jog tomorrow, man.
yeah. Check in and let us know how you did.
Yeah, exactly.
get them jewels, man. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm approaching 2021 just like I approached 2020. You know, I've been on the grind, just kept moving, even though I was, you know, physically still. In terms of a location, I was still doing loads of things inside my house.
I'm gonna just build off what Rock said, and I got two things to let the people know. And these are the two things I've experienced this year that I'm just gonna, like, you know, push on to next year. And the first thing is not being afraid to get out of your comfort zone. I took a massive leap, like I said in a bunch of episodes and today as well. You can't be afraid to make changes. And if there's a possibility that change you might make could lead to something even bigger, why not try? The worst thing that could happen is maybe it won't work out, but, you know, at least you tried your best. Now you build on that and go into the next stage of your life, right? But I took the leap of faith. I'm happy with how things are going so far. I don't know what's gonna happen in the future, but I'm glad I took that risk. The second thing I'd like to say is building positive relationships. Like I said earlier in this episode, I've managed to maintain the friendships with the people I know. I've also met new people here that, you know, I've managed to forge relationships with. But if you are able to build and maintain positive relationships that can help you, you know, you're not necessarily friends with people just so you can use them, but, you know, also that's what friends are for, right? They'll help you out in areas that you're lacking, and you'll help them out in areas that, you know, they're lacking. And the purpose of building these relationships is so that you can always have someone who's kind of like picking up your slack a little bit, in a sense. And in that manner, like, moving forward, you know, you can have a wave of opportunities coming your way based off that relationship that you maintained and, you know, and upheld, you know. So my advice is don't be afraid to go out there and definitely build those relationships. Even with my dogs right here. Yes, we're friends.
Yeah,
but, you know, we've come so far maintaining our relationships, doing this, you know, this whole thing together. And, you know, if anybody here needs any help with anything that I can offer my help with, I'm definitely 100% offering my help. And I'm pretty sure they would do likewise, right? So that's how we should move on into 2021.
That's real. Right. For me, it'll really summarizes to one word, which is just growth. And that's really what I kind of want people to go into 2021 with. That's my big word. And just not doing the same thing, right? Like realizing what are the areas of life that that maybe life has dealt me a bad hand, but I can't get stuck in it. So it's just like, what am I going to do to grow out of it? And if it is just like where you've gotten to a point where you're gotten complacent, and I don't want to say comfortable, because if you're comfortable, you're just comfortable, right? Like life is good. But like if you've gotten complacent and you've just like accepted that, like, you know, this is all you deserve and this is it, like forget that, man. Leave that behind and step. You know, Marquise said it. You know, stepping outside your comfort zone it's uncomfortable, right? Like the whole phrase says it. It's stepping out of your comfort zone. So it's uncomfortable, and growth and change is scary. But take that leap of faith, because it can take you so much further. and if not, I can guarantee you'll get back on your feet. Like what you risk losing is often not as big as what what you have the chance of winning. But this being said, we really appreciate you for sticking with us through this season, guys. We're finally here at the end of the first season. We're really thankful for you, seriously, young chefs, and don't go too far, because we'll be back really soon with season 2, where we'll have more guests, more topics, more for you. Also stay tuned to our individual, especially Instagrams and Facebooks, as we'll all be doing multiple giveaways to some charities that we believe in, so some opportunities to be generous, and we would love if you can partner with us and take part. So we'll have the link in the description for all of that. You already know the deal. Make sure you rate, review, like, follow, subscribe, all of that good jazz. All the links are in the description. But on behalf of all of us, we want to wish you a Merry Christmas. That's the holiday I celebrate, but whatever holiday you celebrate, we want to wish you a very very happy holiday season and a happy new year.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to all of you guys, and we hope you enjoy some time with your loved ones. But if you aren't, because I know that it's not an opportunity that everyone has, just know that our thoughts, our prayers are with you, and you get a lot of love from us. But chefs, this was season 1 of the Problematic Cookout. We love you, but we're signing out. Peace.
So wrap.
Stay problematic.
Well done,
Check
guys.
us
Well
out
done.
next season.
Yeah, we'll be back. All right, big up.